What's up everyone, welcome back to Seiya Awakening. We're back with a character review, and this time we're going to look at the newest SS unit to be introduced into the game, the Queen Persephone. She is an extremely strong character, so we're going to start by looking at her skills, how to level them up, what Cosmo to equip on her, which possible team combinations she has, and also her weaknesses, which is pretty important in her case. Before we look at the details, it's important to keep in mind that Persephone is pretty much divided into two sections. She's going to have two skills focused on damage, and she's going to have two skills focused on being tanky and helping her team out. The division between these is pretty marked, and the first thing I'm going to tell you is do not level her the way you see her on screen. This is what I did because I wanted to test her damage, but it is not her ideal build. Having said that, let's start off with the first skill, which is called Seed of the Earth, and it's going to be an individual cosmic type attack that, on top of the cosmic damage, is also going to apply a little bit of damage based on her max HP. And on her, max HP is the most important thing of all, so keep it in mind. Now, the second effect of this skill is that it's also going to plant a seed below the enemy unit. This seed looks like a kind of grass under the enemy unit, and what it does is that it records all of the damage that we apply to that unit. So it's gonna keep track. Okay, we did 10,000 plus 20,000 plus 30,000, etc. The maximum that it can record is also controlled by Persephone's max HP. Again, it cannot be cleansed and it doesn't expire either. It's going to stay until the end of the fight. Now, what that seed does with the damage that it records is that it's going to apply it as true damage to the enemy unit after it moves. So the seed is going to be there, it's going to keep a record of all the damage we apply, and after that enemy moves, it's going to apply that same damage as true damage. If the enemy unit dies, then the seed spreads. It's going to go to its neighbors. The second thing that we can do with the seed is actually involved with the second skill, which is called Harvest Song. This is an AoE attack that, again, is going to apply a little bit of cosmic damage, a little bit of damage based on HP, and it's also going to cause all of those seeds that we already planted to sprout. So you'll see that the grass will turn from like a gray color to yellow. At that point, when the seed sprouts, it's also going to apply the damage that it has recorded, but it is going to stop recording damage. So whatever we have done up until that point, that's the damage we're going to do moving forward with the AoE. It cannot accumulate any more damage after it sprouts. Just like the regular seed, it cannot be purified either. And that's the end of her damage, okay? So we have planting a seed here, then we can sprout the seed and then apply that damage that we have accumulated every single time that we use the AoE in the future. The first of her two passives is going to be called Rejuvenation, and this is the one that allows her to protect her allies from big hits. What it does is that it limits the amount of damage that a single individual ally can receive to a certain percentage. On skill level 1, that's 40% of her max HP, but if we manage to max it, it goes down to 20. That means that allies will not be able to be one-shot. Now, the extra damage that the ally doesn't receive is not lost, it doesn't just disappear, she's gonna take it upon herself. So big hits that manage to trigger the passive are going to apply a little bit to the ally and the rest of the damage to her. What does become extremely powerful are units that can do multi-hit, because this prevents the damage from a single attack, let's say an Eye from Thanatos or a Sword Strike from Alone. But when a unit hits us multiple times, they're going to be doing small damage. It's not going to be enough to trigger this passive, and so the enemy that's being attacked is going to receive it all. Whenever it does activate, then Persephone is going to generate a shield for herself, again, based on her HP. This shield has a maximum number of times that it can be triggered. It starts at 3 times per round, and it goes all the way up to 5. Finally, we have her second passive, which is called Life Reaper, and this will cause all enemy units to lose a certain percentage of their max HP passively at the end of every single round. That means the enemy team is going to constantly get weaker, losing that maximum HP, and that will make it easier for our team to kill them. So in reality, Persephone not only protects our team, but she also weakens the enemy. The craziest part about this skill is that that HP that we're removing from the enemy doesn't disappear, it's not lost, it actually gets turned into maximum HP for Persephone, making her harder to kill. It's a pretty crazy skill because that max HP can never be restored. Even if the unit dies and is revived by like Ophiuchus or whatever, they'll come back with the lower max HP. And that's really the end of her skills. She's not an extremely complicated unit. She has a little bit of damage from her first two skills and then a lot of protection from her two passives. When it comes time to skill her up, that's when it gets a little bit complicated. The damage, to be honest, is not amazing. It's a pretty hard mechanic to use because you first have to plant the seed, then you have to apply damage to the seed, then you have to sow the seed. So there's a lot of things that have to happen in order for her to apply some decent damage here with her second skill, so that shouldn't be the focus of your build. To start off with a super basic Persephone, I would recommend skill level 1, 1, 3, 3. This gives you a little bit more tankiness. She's not going to be contributing with damage, but that's not really her purpose, and that only costs you 12 tomes. She can kind of work as a support unit like that. If you want her to be a true support that can really tank for your team and save them, then the next levels would be 1, 1, 5, 5. This gives her the maximum damage distribution, and it also lowers the maximum HP from the enemy by, how much is it? 10% of their max HP every round. In case you're crazy and you want to go with damage, then the first two skills are the ones you want to level up. We had said in the Spanish Spanish review 5-5-1-1 for an attacker Persephone, but that's not really what she's gonna do. I really advise against that build. It's much better to focus on her tankiness. So if you get her to 1-1-5-5, you can then start leveling up the first one, because if you can't apply the seed, then that makes her damage even worse, and eventually move on to the second one, because since it's an AoE, then the lower chance, let's say it doesn't matter as much because you have several chances of activating it. In any case, if you still want to complete the training, then the recommended levels to get all of the rewards are 3, 3, 4, 5. Kind of the opposite of what I did. Over on the 8 cents, and keeping in mind that her HP is the most important part, we're going to start with Beta, which gives us HP and status resistance, followed by Delta, which gives us HP and resistance to both types of damage, followed by Alpha, which has Cosmo Attack and HP, and lastly Gamma with Cosmo Attack and Peak Crit Resistance. Over on her Cosmo, we have a couple of different options, but we are going to build her tanky, and we saw her already in action in the show match this weekend, and basically everybody had her built the same way with supreme tankiness. For that, we're going to go with White Mist here in the red with both types of defense and also cosmic damage resistance. Eagle Eye is a decent second option, as you see here. It gives her a little bit of attack, also 10% HP. In the yellow Cosmo, we do have a couple of different options. Morning Glory works really well. It has 2 boosts of HP and also both types of defense. Knowing is not terrible either, because the HP boost is percentual and her base HP is enormous, but in the future all of these are going to be replaced by Guilt. Whatever the heck this means, it has 3 HP boosts. In the blue Cosmo, we also have one that fits really well, which is Knot. I happen to not have any decent ones, so I went with Fruits of Strife, which would be kind of like the second option, but if you have some decent knots, then definitely go with that. Finally, in Legendary, there are many options, but because she is a kind of slow unit, she tends to move at the end of the turn, so Fuchsia will go super well on her. Another decent one is Scarab because of the max HP boost. If she's going to be support, then she can also carry Marsh Fairy because that has an HP main stat. And one that I find really interesting but I have yet to try is going to be Soap Berry. This classic Cosmo will let her heal anytime that she's low, making her again even harder to kill. It also happens to have an HP substat. And speaking of substats, what you're going to be looking for is HP, HP, and more HP. Cosmic Attack is okay if you happen to find some laying around, but really all she does is tank. Her damage unfortunately is just not very exciting. Over on teams, there's one combination that I'm going to mention right away because it's absolutely gross, and it's going to be, if I can find him, with Divine Shiryu. If you happen to stick Persephone under his protection, these two guys become pretty much unkillable. They have one big weakness, which is going to be the cow, but other than that, it's going to be not hard only to kill these two, but kill anybody in the team, because remember the Persephone is going to be redirecting that damage. Then Shiryu applies his protection, he applies his shields as well, and it's basically just an unending battle. Because she applies her seeds with the basic skill, she's also very good with double turn, and so we're gonna have Hashun obviously as a partner, and she can also work with Artemis, Brilliance. Albafika can reduce the damage that the enemy team does and make it even harder for them to eliminate anybody on our side. And the other two protection units, which are going to be Shun and Shion Surplice, are also very good. If she's redirecting damage from other allies and we have her protected with the shield, then basically that damage gets cancelled. If you are gonna try to do damage with her, which is what I tried to do, then you're gonna need units that can apply damage to the seed. Remember, she herself cannot multiply her damage, but if the seeds do take damage from other units, then when she sprouts them, they're going to be doing much more damage every single time. Lastly, we can combine her with squishy units, some attackers that are easy to kill, like for example Shura. I've been very tempted to use her. I've also used her effectively with Saga because it's going to be harder for the enemy to eliminate them. Now she will be taking a lot of that damage, so remember to bring some protection. I think Shion Sapuri is probably the best option. As far as weaknesses, the first one is going to be the cost of tomes, even though if you want to go full tank, it's going to be 1155, which is 40 tomes, and that gives her the maximum effectiveness as a tank. So I would say that 40 for a double S unit, it's not absolutely horrendous. It's not cheap, but it's also not like, I don't know, the exclamation levels. She does have some specific units that counter her pretty strongly. For example, Artemis can reset her and completely undo all of the seeds on the battlefield, but what she can't do is revert the maximum HP loss. There's no way to get rid of that. The Divine Cow can exercise her, making her a lot easier to kill, and there's also Pandora Commander is extremely strong. Because Persephone has such a high base HP, then the enemy is going to be able to apply a massive amount of damage. Remember that the Bane inherits part of the HP from the unit that was transformed. That means that with Persephone's super high HP, that Bane is going to receive a lot more damage and therefore spread a lot more damage to the team. If I had to pick the strongest counter for her, this would definitely be it. We already mentioned that multi-hit is also pretty good against her protection because we're going to be doing chip damage. That's a lot of small attacks to the enemy. If they're small enough, then the attacks are not going to trigger her passive, or at least not trigger it as much. Units like Thanatos with her second skill, Milo halo from the exclamation with his multi-hit, even shootout, which I want to test this week. They're all very strong at bypassing her protection. Lastly, we have units that can apply a massive amount of individual damage, like for example Thanatos with his eye, or a sword strike from alone. Yes, Persephone is going to redirect that damage from the unit we're trying to kill to her, but if the damage is big enough, then yeah, she's going to save her ally, but she's going to die. And with that, I think we can end the theory. We are going to see a demonstration of a fight we recorded during Galactic Duel today, and in the fight you'll see that it's a little bit hard to make her shine because as a tank, her active role in the team is pretty minimal, especially because I used her combined with Shiryu, which I know does not make for the most entertaining demonstration in the world, that it's the way that you're going to see her used in most cases. I've also used her with squishy teams, and yeah, sometimes it works, but a lot of times it doesn't. If there's enough damage coming out of the enemy, eventually they're going to die. So we're going to see the demonstration, and after the fight, I'll give you my final verdict on this queen. So we're just going to go with the tag team. Oh god, we don't want this, and we don't want Cow, and we don't want Pandora Commander is one of the strongest counters. We get Exclamation Band, okay, and Pandora. Exclamation Band is okay. Okay, so let's see what we can use. Maybe we can go... but not with this guy. No, 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 no. You get out of here. Yeah, you get out of here. And we're gonna go... We're not gonna use Leo. That's not gonna happen. We tried and already failed. We're gonna go with this. And we need some energy, so we're gonna go with Athena. Okay? So this is gonna be a slower game. Oh, we got no Athena. Okay, we have to... Ah, no Thanatos? No, we need energy. We need cannon. But without Thanatos? Wait, what is... Oh, they have the same speed, bro. They have the same speed. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. We go like this then. We go like this because I don't know who's going to be protected. Okay? We got 443. I need to make a change here. They both have 443. Let's go. So we'll go with Tanky Team. And we have 2.5 attackers. And we have Artemis on the other side. Fantastic. 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 Alright. Brilliant. Brilliant. So she cancels my energy generation. Okay. So what we're gonna do here is we are going to put these Baina on this girl for next round. And we are going to protect this guy. And we are going to hide. Not yet. I don't care if I can take an eye. I think I can take an eye. I think I can take an eye. We'll see. I think he's gonna mark Shiryu. Yeah, he marked Shiryu, but I can take an eye. It's fine. I'm gonna take 2 hits. It's okay. I think it's okay. Alright, we're breaking some defense. I think we're fine. Maybe. Excuse me, senor. What are you doing? Thanatos, no fury. Okay. Wow. Interesting move. Alright. Yeah, we take an eye. It's okay. Now we hide Shiryu so he can't be reset. Alright. And we are going to plant a seed on this disgusting thing. Though I don't know if he clears it when he transforms. I guess we're gonna find out. I actually don't know. Okay, his alone transforms. Why 0 damage? On who? Thanatos explodes, not a lot of damage. Alright, we counter, we break defense 3 times. Oh my lord! Okay, there's a little bit of shield. Ooh, he doesn't get it. Ooh. Alright, maximum HP reduction, and it doesn't clear the seed when he transforms. She reactivates Brilliance. Alright, and what we're gonna do now is... we are going to Nightmare. And we have to go healing. I'm sorry, but we have to go healing, okay? I apologize. And who else do we keep in Nightmare? This guy's gonna die and clear it. We keep this guy in Nightmare. Keep this guy in Nightmare, and we protect this guy. And I have 2 energy, which I can use here. I'm gonna use it. Apply damage to the seed. Alright, he tries to break, but I have a shield, so he can't break it. We're gonna go boom with full fury here. Boom. Alright, there's the ghost. Why am I healing so little, bro? Why am I healing so little? I don't understand. How can I be healing so little? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, because I only have 1 unit in Nightmare. Okay, now it makes sense. Thanatos is almost dead. Alright, and Shiryu didn't take that much damage, I think because Persephone absorbed some of it. Alright, now we're going to seed... oh, I don't want to touch this thing, though. We're going to seed Thanatos for later. Alright, and we might be able to kill it with cannon. Maybe. Alright, Alone has a movement here. He can exchange. He exchanges with Thanatos. But then we heal, and we got shield too. I think this one looks good. We got a lot of tankiness here. He goes with a sword. I think this is going to do much, though. Sword on Percy does not much at all, but he has a link now. He has a link. We're going to have 3 units in Nightmare, so we should be healing quite a bit. No, we only have 2, because if Thanatos explodes, that's okay by me. Because, oh no, Shiryu's gonna fall asleep, dude. Wait, Shiryu's gonna fall asleep, but he breaks the shield. He falls asleep. And this thing, where's the Nightmare seal of this thing? Hello? Oh, too bad we don't have energy for Persephone. Don't kill Hypnos! Okay, don't kill him. Alright, yeah. So, we are going to kill Thanatos. Boom. We get it on Alone, and we have 1 more attack. Oh, the Nightmare kills him, bro. The Nightmare kills him. We're gonna go with this now. G to the G. I don't know how much of a demonstration that was, though. GG, Chupin. And that's gonna be it for today, guys. I hope the review is useful. I hope the demonstration is useful as well. Like I said, not the most exciting fight, but that is how you're gonna see her used. We have an even more disgusting team that I'm gonna put on a video tomorrow. Yeah, the video is gonna be in Spanish, but during the fights, we mix all kind of languages. And for this crazy attempt, we mixed all of the damage reduction units in the game. This team, even without Shiryu, is so difficult to kill that the majority of the enemies just give up. So she is an extremely effective tank. Her damage really is underwhelming. I was hoping to get more out of her in that area of the game, but it's not what she was designed for. She was designed to tank and also reduce the HP from the enemy, making it a little bit easier to kill. Now, if there's Persephone on both sides, then we're gonna be going down equally. I do think it's a unit worth getting, though we have yet to see how she comes into the ban. We have other really strong ladies right now, like Artemis and Pandora. I think those are going to continue being the most banned units, which means we might get to play with her a little bit more. The bad news is that if you combine her with Alba Fica, then it leads us towards a meta of really, really long fights. Not exactly what I like, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad unit. I'm gonna say goodbye here for today. If you haven't already, please remember to hit like, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye!